is don't think you are a failure if you have to take other roles to give you some income, and not just income, it's also support and drive to get you to your next thing. Welcome back to another week of the Messy Middle. We're doing a okay guys, come on. We're doing a totally different structure for a couple of series. This is a series approach where it's 10 minutes each. We're trying to get to 10 minutes each. Obviously, it's going to be a difficulty with the way Frank and I talk because we like to, I'm already in like on 45 seconds, but it's going to be the founder's post-exit journey and the different options you have as a founder. I would say founder to job, founder to new startup, founder to venture studio, founder to investor, founder to retirement, and I threw a really morbid one in there, founder to death. Frank does not like that one. But today we're going to start with founder to job. I have zero experience with this. I obviously am doing consulting roles, helping founders, advising founders, but I've never considered that as a job.
No, that's not true. Let's stop right here. You have experience with it, but you're ashamed of it, which is something very common among founders.
But it's not a job. But come on, guys.
It's not really a job.
Like,
what do we consider as a job? Is it like full-time, 8 hours
full-time.
working for a
Full-time.
company?
No,
That's a job.
I disagree. Let's talk about it. It's like I'm not an alcoholic, just drink a little bit. No, it's fine. It's fine. Job is anything. It doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about being an entrepreneur to a full-time job. We're talking about being an entrepreneur to, getting paid for stuff you do, and could be full-time.
We're working for someone else.
And the truth is, whatever you do, it will never be full-time, because an entrepreneur full-time is from Monday to Sunday. There's no jobs from Monday to Sunday. That doesn't exist. So let's talk about your experience, Gabriel. Actually,
so my experience is
having a job.
Yeah.
Say it.
But it's not having a job.
Okay, it's fine. But it's fine. So first of all, I want to tell people this is not
to say.
Yeah, I know
job.
It kills everybody, but you shouldn't. It's being it's true. Like
it's embarrassing.
We
Am
need
I
to
an
normalize
entrepreneur
that.
if I have a job?
Shouldn't feel victimized by having a job. You need cash. You need a job. There's no shame. You should embrace it. And it doesn't. And so the first thing I want to say is, it happens all the time. Like that's the first thing. If one day you have no cash, you need a job, and will that make you persona non grata to become an entrepreneur for investors? Of course not. It's common sense. But what Gabriel is doing right now is very common. Like people are really, 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 for some reason, feel like, oh shit, like now I've got a job. It's like the worst thing in life. Well, most of mankind would love to have this type of job. So it's really funny how.
Okay, so let me cut the bullshit. So it's embarrassing, it's annoying,
but why?
But it's a fact of life.
Why is it embarrassing?
Because I'm still in the mindset, as the comparison mindset as a founder, that I should be working on really cool things. But let's put all that aside. You asked me to like, so let's cut it.
Share your experience. How did you find one? What type of job it is?
So here it is. So I'm a founder. I've built and sold 2 companies. I've never had to get a full-time job where it actually, pays me a monthly salary other than running startups. So thinking about it, when I had the most recent Messy Middle, because that's the one we should focus on, I had a 1.5 years of cash runway. And 3 people came to me, I would say 5 people came to me over the last year asking for me to help them raise money and advise. I turned 4 of them down. 1 came through, and it's been a lot of fun.
Good.
Not only has it been fun, it's been expanding my network. And from the work side of it, it's not as intense as running a startup. And I structured it in a way where it says, I'm an advisor and an investor in this company. I do that. I say, look, I'll give you $5,000, whatever. Even if they're not paying me that much, I want that distinction, because that it's not saving face. It allows me to make introductions for these startups versus saying I'm working there as a consultant. And the reason why is it still goes back to that embarrassment factor. Yeah. So unlike you, Frank, I get embarrassed. And I see a lot of entrepreneur friends that are not
embarrassed. That's not true. I can tell you. can tell you about my embarrassments. Like we've got so many of them. But anyway, the lesson learned to me is you get some natural traction, and you convert it as like basically consulting for, your skill,
Yes.
which is to help people to raise money.
Yeah. And
the
I
reason,
and I quote
yeah,
and
sorry.
I'll make one more and then I'm going to stop talking because we're 3 minutes each, I guess.
Yeah.
I quoted when I first started with one contract, 5 a month, 5K. I realized it was way too little. And then I quoted 20 and I kind of met in the middle at 17 for one of
Good.
them as well. So it is lucrative and the time commitment is minimal.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe Teddy, you want to step in? Or
Yeah, I mean, if we consider job as something that you either consult someone or where it's not a case where you go work full time, which I don't have experience with, only one job many, many years ago. But consulting type of gigs, yeah, I've had many in the past for the various reasons. And like even now, if you're always saying, Frank, never fight natural attraction. If someone approaches me and I'm the tech person and wants me to help with a specific project and I have the expertise, why not? But the way I'm doing things is if it's in line with my kind of core company products. If I do a Web3 no-code tool and you need something Web3 related, and me or someone in my company can help, then I would take that opportunity. So it's not a core thing. And again, the prerequisite is for us to be in a situation where we need extra cash. And I think it's always a good idea. And I often mention this on the pod. Phil Knight and his story, how he created Nike. He had many jobs before. He even had Nike in parallel to those jobs. And I understand Gabriel's position. I used to be in that kind of position where I'm not going to take this consulting gig because I feel shame. But I think that the book really helped me to understand that it doesn't matter as long as you keep moving, as long as you are in motion. That's what matters. And eventually this opportunity is having a contract, a consulting gig will maybe connect you to the right person that will lead you to your next kind of thing. Yeah. And I think that's beautiful.
I would need a lot more than 3 minutes or even 20 minutes to talk about that subject, but there's a couple of things I can talk about because I really studied it. I launched a consulting firm called Rework, which specialized in recycling founders as consultant. And the basis for Rework was to say that people who build $1 million revenue business are more rare than the people who go to Harvard school in terms of conversion rate. But if you go to Harvard, you go to BCG and McKinsey, and you're extremely valued. But if not, then things are not really. I would say entrepreneurs are not being recognized as valuable, and founders themselves don't recognize themselves as valuable. But it will change. Everybody must have heard of the founder mode. I think is another trend that might beneficiate for founders. So that's the first point I want to make, which is like you're valuable. I think the reason people might feel like ashamed of it is because it says you made an exit but not enough cash. And so it's kind of publicly acknowledging that you failed at your venture, even though the venture can be successful. But again, it's like that's the way the persona of the entrepreneur works. But reaching out to friends and knowing that you can be valuable is the first step. After that, it can be traumatic. I remember, and I talked to another friend recently, but we both had this experience. Mine was, I was back in France. I kind of wanted to look for a job. I haven't looked for a job in 10 years. I applied for a job through someone who recommended me to go for Amazon to work with startups and relation with VC. And I was like, that's going to be easy because the whole Amazon startup thing, kind of spanned across the street from Startup Weekend, where we worked directly with their team to help to establish it. And we had people from our team who were interns who ended up joining that. So I was like, that's going to be easy. But then I went through the interview process and I couldn't answer a question. I think one question which struck me in the interview was, can you give an example of when you planned something and it didn't happen as planned? And in my mind, I couldn't find of any time I would have planned anything that worked as planned. So my answer to the CEO of Amazon France was, have you ever been an entrepreneur? And I don't think he liked that question. And so I never got the job. It was awful. And I was like, oh my God, I will never get a job. I'm unhireable, because being a founder. But then again, there's plenty of things you can work on, like helping, with fundraising, helping with whatever is your skill. There's always a way. And so anyway, it's a little traumatic. when you realize that you took the Matrix analogy and you went to the other side, and now everything
Well, you're
becomes really
unhireable.
weird. Yeah.
You're unhireable, and you have to put yourself in the position where
Where it
you,
makes sense.
yeah.
And
And
so
I think that's the net of our 10-minute conversation.
right.
So which is, don't think you are a failure if you have to take other roles to give you some income, and not just income, it's also support and drive to get you to your next thing.
Yeah. You have failed, but you're not a failure, and it's part of the game, right? It's like, okay, that's it.
Or
Like,
you
deal
haven't
with it.
failed, or
You
wait,
crashed.
or
Yeah,
you
whatever, you
succeeded.
crashed, you crashed or whatever. It's fine. It's not everybody needs the medal. Just fucking be like, acknowledge it. Okay, that's done. I'm done with whatever was my past. I'm in between, and you're dealing with your messy middle, and that's the part where you're trying to get more cash. And then the other thing that's difficult is to launch a new business while having a job. I've tried many times, and I can never really do that.
That's another conversation.
I would love to keep that for another conversation.
Let's keep that for another one.
Let's
keep that for another one.
Nice.
10 minutes is up. I have a quote for this week, which is, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
Was it the quote for where you wanted to talk about dying?
Steve Jobs. No. The dying one, I don't know. That'll probably be like a De Gaulle quote or like a Churchill quote.
No, exactly. It's a quote about not being judged. Like, you don't care about being judged. It's your life.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
Cool. Until next week.